Wow. Has beautiful been amazing or what? I don't know, but every year when we gather at conference, it's just special, isn't it? There's just something special about gathering with God's daughters. And especially when we all come from different backgrounds, we all come from different situations, we all come from different stages of life. There's some of us in here that are in high school, college, young adults, young married, young families, old families, retired. We're all different, but we're all united because we're all God's family. And I know that God has something individual for you today, but he also has something for us as a group. And I'm just so excited to share with you as we're closing conference today, because I know that it's going to be special. Are you ready? Oh, come on, girls. I said, are you ready? Thank you. Now, most of you know this, but maybe you don't know that my husband and I, Pastor Ryan, adopted a little baby 8 weeks ago. I have a newfound and deep love for concealer. Things are a little bit different in our house now, right? It went from just the two of us for 8 years to now bringing a newborn little baby into our house. And I think we're adjusting well. I mean, we are having to, make some changes and learn how to be flexible in a whole new way. Like, my plan was to curl my hair this morning, but when I was feeding the baby at 3:30, she spit up all in it. So that my plan to curl my day-old hair was not gonna work. So I have straight hair today because right now the baby is the boss of me. So that will not be forever, but right now she is the boss of me. We're surviving in my house on caffeine and cuddles, and I'm loving every single moment of it. I brought a picture. Do you want to see it? Right? I mean, have you ever seen a cuter face in the history of faces? No. This is my daughter. Lila Beth Visconti. And Ryan sent me a video of her. He's been babysitting like all week. So if he seems a little extra tired tomorrow, just give him some grace. But he sent me this morning, and I thought I would just share it with you so you could kind of see like what stage of life she's in right now. And she just started playing. Seriously, come on, right? It goes on forever. I won't make you watch the whole thing. This has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm talking about today, but I've just waited a long time to talk about my daughter from the stage, and I wanted to share this moment with you. Like, I don't have like some clever segue into like that story to like what we're going through at home right now to my sermon. I just wanted to be real with you guys for a minute. Is that okay? But she's amazing. She's perfectly healthy. I seriously am loving every single moment, even when she spits up in my hair. And honestly, like all the super gross things have happened to Ryan. So I'm just loving the moment. And it's always when I'm not home. So I don't know what happens, but she always poops and it ends up somewhere not in her diaper when I am not home and he is there. So, all right, now I'm going to talk about what God wants me to say today, because I was just like, a moment with my sisters. Okay, but isn't she cute? Okay, I'm focused now. We know as Generation Women, as followers of Jesus, that God has called us, He has designed us, He has purposed us to be brave. We are brave. Now, you may be thinking when I say that, well, but I'm not brave, right? You say I'm brave, and the whole theme of the conference has been, I am brave, but I don't feel very brave. And you might be thinking something like, I'm just like a stay-at-home mom, and I'm not very brave. Or you might be thinking like, I'm just like a college student and trying to like live life and kind of adult at the same time, and I'm not very brave. Or you may be thinking like, I just wake up in the morning and I brush my teeth, hopefully, and get the kids out the door and go to work, come home, make dinner, repeat. I'm not very brave. You might be thinking, I'm not brave, but like soldiers are brave. Or policemen are brave. Or maybe you're like, people who go to Walmart on Black Friday are brave. I love Black Friday, but I do not go to Walmart on Black Friday. I am not that brave. Yes, these people are brave. But my friend, my sister, I want you to know, you can be brave too. Whatever season of life you're in, whatever your daily routine looks like, you are brave. I believe that God has called you to live a lifestyle of bravery. It's not just like a one-moment thing. You saved a cat from a burning building, okay? Yes, that's brave. But God has called us to live a lifestyle of bravery. It's very clear in the Bible that God desires for His people to be brave. Joshua 1:9. Here is what I'm commanding you to do. Just want you to sit on that word commanding for a moment. Here's what I am commanding you to do. Be strong and brave. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you everywhere you go. What an incredible promise from God. I will be with you everywhere you go. And even with this extraordinary promise from God, bravery always doesn't come super easy or naturally to us, does it? I don't think there's anyone in this room, and if this is you, I'll just hand you the mic and you can tell us how to do it, but I don't think there's anyone in this room where you wake up every single day of your life and you're like, I am brave, I am a warrior, I'm gonna attack this world for Jesus, and you just feel 100% confident in your bravery at all moments, all the time. Anybody? Is there anybody? No, I didn't think so. I know I don't feel that way. I do not feel brave at every moment of every day. I remember one time I was at kids camp. For those of you who don't know, I was the children's pastor for 15 years. So there's some of you in this room that I was your children's pastor, which makes me feel super old. I realized the other day I'm solidly in my mid-30s, and I had to take a moment, but then I realized I was okay. I was at kids camp, and our camp is pretty nice. It's not like you go and you sleep in a tent in the forest. It has rooms and beds and showers because I have my limits, okay? And I was at camp, and I think this was probably about 10 years ago, and I was sleeping in one of our dorm rooms, and it's the dorm leaders and 10 kids, which is really not a fair ratio to the dorm leaders, but it is what it is. So it was me and Caitlin, our kids director from our Ahwatukee campus. She's been with me from the beginning. And she has a baby too. Isn't God cool? Okay, I don't have a picture of her baby on the screen, or else I would show her too. But we were dorm leaders together that year, and it was time to go to bed, and we got all the girls ready for bed. I'm sure like at least 3 of them took a shower that day. And we put them to bed, and we got in bed, and we probably stayed up way too late talking, and then we fell asleep. And it was like maybe 2:30 in the morning, and I'm laying in my bunk bed, in my sleeping bag, totally asleep, and I start to like wake up a little bit. And I feel this like on my face. Exactly. And you know, you're like I was kind of half awake, half asleep, and I just feel like this on my face. And so I'm like starting to kind of realize like this is not a normal feeling that you have in the middle of the night. So I like, you know, you're like, what is that? And I like start like at my face, and I kind of like felt my hand hit something, and I was like, Caitlin, because I was not being brave. And my bed was this way, and her bed was this way. And so I was like, Caitlin, wake up. There was something on my face. She's like, what? I'm like, you have to wake up. There was something on my face. I don't know what it was. So she pulled out her phone, she turned on her flashlight, and starts looking. And on the floor, there was a cockroach. Ladies, that cockroach was on my face. And immediately, I completely freak out. I start hyperventilating. It's not on my face anymore. It was definitely on the floor. But I start hyperventilating. I'm freaking out. I cannot believe that there was a cockroach on my face. And I look at Caitlin, who is significantly younger than me, by the way, and I say, you have to kill it. And she's like, excuse me? And I was like, you don't understand, it was on my face, you have to kill it. So being the best friend that she is, she got out of bed in her jammies, and did you get a shoe? Oh, she for sure got a shoe. And in her brave moment, and in my weakness, she killed that cockroach. And I wish I could say that was the end of the story. But I could not sleep for like the rest of kids camp that year. And it was for sure the last year I slept in a dorm, because there was a cockroach on my face. And as you can tell by my extreme reaction by telling this story, I am not over it. It was traumatizing. But you know what? When I was laying in my bed just going like this, I wasn't afraid, because I didn't know what it was. I wasn't afraid and terrified of that cockroach until I saw it. And I'm significantly larger than a cockroach. But it was on my face. But in that moment when I saw what was attacking me, it was out to get me. I know it was. When I saw what was attacking me is when I got scared. So I want to ask you, and this is the title of my sermon if you're taking notes. What do you see? What do you see? 2 Kings 6, starting in verse 8. I'm going to read a little portion of scripture, and then we're going to talk through it. So follow along with me, 2 Kings 6, 8 through 17. When the king of Syria was at war with Israel, he would confer with his officers and say, "We will mobilize our forces at such and such a place." But immediately Elisha, the man of God, would warn the king of Israel, "Do not go near that place, for the Syrians are planning to mobilize their troops there." So the king of Israel would send word to the place indicated by the man of God. Time and again, Elisha warned the king so that he would be on the alert there. The king of Syria became very upset over this. He called his officers together and demanded, "Which of you is the traitor? Who has been informing the king of Israel of my plans?" "It's not us, my lord the king," one of the officers replied. "Elisha, the prophet in Israel, tells the king of Israel even the words you speak in the privacy of your bedroom." "Go and find out where he is," the king commanded, "so I can send troops to seize him." And the report came back, "Elisha is at Dothan." So one night, the king of Syria sent a great army with many chariots and horses to surround the city. When the servant of the man of God got up early the next morning and went outside, there were troops, horses, and chariots everywhere. "Oh, sir, what will we do now?" the young man cried to Elisha. "Don't be afraid," Elijah told him, "for there are more on our side than on theirs." Then Elisha prayed, "Oh Lord, open his eyes and let him see." The Lord opened the young man's eyes, and when he looked up, he saw that the hillside around Elisha was filled with horses and chariots of fire. Wow, what an incredible story. I kind of really wish we still had the fire set up from last night, because it would have been so cool when I said fire if it went off. Oh well, next time. Okay, so the Syrians, the enemy, and the Israelites, God's people, were at war. All out war. And just like in any war, both sides are strategizing their plan of attack, right? The Syrians, they come together and they make a battle plan, and they go out to perform their battle plan, and by the time they get there, the Israelites already knew they were coming. That's a frustrating situation for the enemy army, right? Because Elisha, a prophet, was a mighty man of God, and a prophet just means that he was God's spokesman. God was speaking through Elisha and telling the Israelites exactly what the Syrians' battle plan was. That's a pretty cool advantage, right? So the Syrian king kept chasing the Israelites all over the place, setting up attacks, but Elisha was warning the king of Israel where the Syrians would attack from. This is a huge advantage for God's people, because it was actually impossible for the Syrians to win this war. The Israelites knew every single thing they were going to do, because God was using Elisha. Verse 11, the king of Syria became very upset over this. I mean, you'd be mad too, right? If you were trying to win a war and the enemy knew your enemy knew every single thing that you were going to do, that would just tick you off, wouldn't it? He called his officers together and demanded, "Which of you is the traitor?" In this moment, I kind of picture 24 and Jack Bauer. You know, has anyone ever seen that show? Like every human ever. When I read this, I picture it as in season 1,